you say you like following your intuition. Where has
Yeah,
your intuition taken you?
well, it's taken me to where I'm today, It's like we can go way back, right? To when I noticed it the first time. Like the fucking full story right here, if you want. Like it started in school, right? Where I'm still in school now, but like 3 years ago, something like that, 2.5 maybe. Um, where I was basically like, I had some friends who were children, but I was people pleasing at the time a lot. So I noticed that, right? I was like, oh shit, I'm actually creating these pretty toxic relationships in a way with people, right? Because it's based on fear, like all of it's based on fear. So I just noticed that I was like, yo, shit, man, do you want to keep doing this? Like, there's gotta be some other way. And that was really the first time I started to think like, oh shit, there's something more here. So I went for the intuition, led me to self-improvement general, which then led me on to Danko, this entire X thing, led me on to some spirituality and shit. So yeah, it's really led me to where I'm right now, like in life. Uh, yeah, just following that. So yeah, bro.
And how do you think that the self-improvement and then co and spirituality helped you get through that thing that you said about people pleasing and about thinking maybe that you weren't enough or something? So how do you think they helped you? And how can you help other people with that as well?
Yeah, so well, one thing it told me was to really stand up for yourself, right? And to respect your own boundaries, say no to have other people respect them as well, right? That's like a huge part of it, because as a people pleaser, that's not something like I was fucking afraid to say no, right? It's like, nah, not happening. So that's like the biggest thing, I think. Like just respecting yourself, having the self-assertiveness, self-worth to actually believe in yourself, alright, what you say, what you stand for, whatever. Yeah, even like small opinions and shit. Like everything. Yeah, like I read a book called Six Pillars of Self-Esteem, and yeah, it's all about that, right? Building this self-esteem, the self-acceptance, everything. So yeah, standing up for myself, I think, is like one of the biggest things the entire thing told me.
Yeah, totally, man. I think it's a very important thing to learn, to start standing up for yourself more. And sometimes it's hard in the beginning, like sometimes like growing up for whatever reason, like for cultural reasons or because of our parents or whatever it is. Sometimes we have this hard time, right?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I was the same. Like I started out thinking that, oh shit, there's something that's genetic. I can't change this. I'm fucking unlucky, all this victim type mindset. So, but it is really just the environment. Yeah. And it's a reflection in a way, like of ourselves as well. Like our internal is a reflection of the external, and the external is reflected in our internal state. So it's kind of reaffirming yourself, right? When you start to get
Totally.
into it a little bit, then it's just like skyrockets. So yeah. And as kids, we don't really we're not too conscious. So whatever happens is like, it kind of happens. So yeah. But it's changeable, which is pretty fucking good. It's we can definitely change it, right? So that's fucking good, which I didn't think we could. So yeah.
And do you think some of your friends have similar situations? Have you helped some of your friends as well?
I don't think I've helped like my friends in like here in real life, but I mean on X and shit. I have definitely talked to a few people, and like yeah, some people resonate with it as well. I think I've been able to help a few of them. Yeah, like not like entirely in depth, right? But just kind of surface-based, diving into where it's coming from, this entire people-pleasing thing. Yeah, it's like I've done a lot of work as well. Journaled a lot, shit like that, what in, what you know.
Hmm.
So, yeah, and I still see this pattern in myself, right? Like, the intention behind a lot of what I'm doing, it kind of rooted automatically in wanting others to like you, right? So we have to be conscious of that and just switch it around. But yeah, I did talk to actually a guy as well. He was like, you want to be more authentic around others, right? And it is really just about almost having like, not even having like a filter, just being like fucking authentic to yourself. Like if you have some fucking intuitive thought, obviously if it's appropriate, just like say it, right, just spit it out.
And we were talking before, and you have a great taste for music. So how did you start? Like, where does that come from? Like your references, you said you like the Strokes and Arctic Monkeys and some other bands that I love. So
Yeah,
where did you get those?
well, it's gotta be, I gotta say, it's a lot of my mates here in Denmark, right? I've listened to basically what they got me into in the first place. The Arctic Monkeys, I think that was like I was biking to school with one of my bros, and we got in some AirPods, right? He just played some Arctic Monkeys. I liked it, so I began diving into it, right? Just listen to all the stuff, and yeah, like the indie rock kind of thing. The Strokes do the same, I think. Gorillas have a lot of different um, genres and everything. So yeah, they just appeal to me. I don't know why, but I just resonate with it. Like I like the chill vibes of the indie rock as well. And I said I'm into some MF Doom stuff as well now, like some more chill hip hop, not the aggressive shit. But yeah, but I think it like what started it was my mates honestly, because I didn't listen to a lot of music beforehand. Yeah, so it's gotta be them. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Like I fucking love those guys. And when I was a teen, I had a band that was pretty much a Strokes cover band. So we only
Yeah.
played the Strokes and a bit of Arctic, so it was pretty cool.
Nah, bro, that's sick, man. Yeah, I'd actually love to get into a band as well. I'm not really good at playing instruments, but yeah, I can do a little bit
Do
of
you
piano
sing?
now.
Oh,
Nah, I don't sing,
piano's
bro.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah, yeah, piano. I learned to play. Do you know the song Rashi? Rashi, do you know
Sorry.
that? Rashi, the song.
How is it? Like,
Nah, it's like it's a meme song, right? On piano, piano. It's you can't play it like you need because it's unplayable basically because it's so fucking difficult. But they made a playable version of it, and I just wanted to for the memes just learn it. That's how I got into piano. So yeah, it's fucking good. But yeah, that's self-taught and everything, so I'm not like good, but yeah, it's fun though.
and how did you learn it? With YouTube or something?
Yeah, we just watched the notes falling down, Didn't know any music theory. Just fucking, yeah, but it was cool. Yeah, I do know a little bit more now. Like I can read notes, but it's a slow process. But yeah, I started just on YouTube. Yeah, bro. Used like the piano at school and everything. So that's yeah, how I got into it for the memes, for the fun of it.
Those are the best ways, man.
Yeah, bro.
Everything you learn for the memes is the best way.
Yeah,
And what do you think were the things that you were obsessed with when you were younger, when you were a kid, and those things that naturally you gravitated towards?
yeah, yeah. So a lot of it was problem solving, like chess, for instance, Rubik's Cube, this kind of stuff. Um, which I still like to this day. Math and everything, physics, I think is pretty interesting to go and use the mind, to solve a fucking problem.
Hmm.
Gives quite a dopamine rush whenever you do that. So yeah, that's something I'm pretty interested in. It always, I still am, bit, definitely today, but it's gotten more into the spirituality, the psychology type of thing, working with people. Um, so yeah, like I thought I was gonna be an engineer, for the longest time, do some problem solving, but I rather want to work with people at this point. But I do want to keep, because I know what you're obsessed with as a kid. It's like, it's probably because it means a lot to you, right? So I do want to keep in touch with that still in some way, right? Have that is like on the side something. Yeah, just creating shit, honestly. Like at this point, I even enjoy going on the piano. Like I'm not learning too much anymore, like new songs. I just go on there and make some random like riffs, beats, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just record them. Even sometimes turn like it's a keyboard, so turn it into like the drums as well, do some drum beats. I think that's cool. So just creating shit, writing at this point as well. So there's like a lot of random things I enjoy doing. But yeah.
Yeah, creating shit is the best, man. Just like
Yeah.
going crazy with it and just playing around. And what do you think? What made you change from going from a more logical side to trying to help people with psychology, with self-reflection? What do you think sparked that, and how was that journey for you?
Yeah. So really again it's the intuition here, right? Like first I was like two 2 years ago, I wanted to get some job, right? Because I was like, okay, gotta start doing something. My friends, they were into like, supermarkets doing just like being at the counter, right? And I was like, nah, that's not for me. I need to find something different. So I didn't know what I was looking for back then, like entirely, but then I came across this um job where I could help middle school kids with school, and I was like, shit. Like when I saw that, like I remember scrolling through the job thing, right, with all the different jobs. Just seeing that, my intuition went crazy. I was like, shit, there's something right here. So I just went on there, got the fucking job, boom. So now I help middle school people with math and English. So yeah, and it's fulfilling as fuck. So I think that's like the first step that got me into it. And then reading books like Six Pillars of Self-Esteem, like kind of psychology and spirituality mixed together. That got my interest quite, uh, yeah, out there as well. So that's like the first steps, and then I just resonated with the entire kind of coaching thing, right?
Hmm.
Dan Co talked about that as well, right? I just somehow instinctively knew that that's what I want to do, even though like I'm not much of a like I didn't think I was much of a people person actually. Like I thought I was more introverted, wanted to be alone and shit mostly, but turns out I was like a combination because I get like crazy energy from being with people. But I was also always like kind of shy. So yeah. So yeah, just working with people, bro. Fucking amazing. Fulfilling. So yeah, that's how I noticed it.
So when you started, you kind of discovered that actually you liked being kind of in a teacher role or in a coach role with those guys.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also like yeah, and the role is definitely also it is kind of a coaching role, but it's also very much like a co-creation, right? You're creating stuff together.
Hmm.
Um, so that's what I really like as well, right? It's not like you have all the authority, you're like a fucking strict ass motherfucker. It's like playful and pretty loose. So I like that. But yeah, I like talking to people one to one, especially, and then working with them as well. That's uh that's something that just resonated with me.
Yeah, I think those are the best times. Like when you're really talking to them, like as a friend, it's not like top down, like a
Yeah, exactly, bro.
teacher or a parent. And I think sometimes people are more open to your feedback when you're more like it's just you and me. You can be open. You don't need to be like, oh my God, you know.
Exactly, bro. That's it, you create together, right? Instead of like being fucking authoritarian or whatever you say, right? Being strict and shit. That's definitely the best. Yeah.
And I know you've written about this already. What do you think introverts can do to help them with their social anxiety or their shyness?
Yeah. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so for me, I mean, what I did was mostly have a natural, like, okay, like the big thing I did for it was to, I joined like school after middle school. I joined like 1 year school for 1 year where I stayed there, lived there with all my peers, right? And it's basically focused on socializing together. Just jumping out into environments like that and expanding your comfort zone is like the best way, I think. But it can be pretty scary, so there's definitely some internal work, I think, as well. And the internal work you can do is really, yeah, I think exploring the shyness, right? Because at least for me, like the shyness, it came from, yeah, it was deep rooted in me, fear based, right? Like thinking about what other people might judge you and shit all the time. So if you explore that, um, and kind of come to terms with it in a way, right? Start just like building the self-esteem, right? Accepting yourself. Start standing up for yourself in small, like situations, right? Like around your family, where it should be pretty safe to, say no or whatever it is. I think so. You're starting small like that, doing the internal work, self-discovery in a way, I think that can help a
Hmm.
lot. Because the shyness is caused by something, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so digging into that is, I think, could be pretty powerful. Yeah, because it's also like limiting beliefs, right? That oh yeah, uh, I have to be this way around people or whatever it is,
Hmm.
or just like literally like a belief, like okay, it could just be that you're shy as well, and like yeah, I noticed that yeah in myself as well. I'm like oh shit, like my nature is just to be shy, but I think yeah, like we are just more outgoing. Like I remember as a kid, or I think at least as like very small kid before developing too much consciousness, right? I was pretty outgoing as well. So it's like, yeah, I think it's like a response to protect yourself in a way from people, maybe.
Hmm.
So yeah, just diving into the journaling about it, all this can really help a lot, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this thing called the spotlight effect that we kind of think like everyone's looking at me, or like we kind of have this, it's a bit of an egomaniac kind of thing that we have sometimes, that we think everyone is looking at us. So like if you do a little mistake, or if you like you're walking and you kind of trip in the middle of the street, everyone's gonna laugh at you or something. But actually, eventually you'll realize people are not even looking at you most of the time. They're not even paying attention. And even if you fell down in the middle of the street, like it would take 30 seconds and they wouldn't even remember. So
Yeah.
I guess with time you kind of realize those things as well and stop caring that much.
Yeah, bro. And that's so interesting, right? Like the very ego-centered thing, like everything's about myself, right? Which is understandable, definitely. Like I still have this today, right? When like I was literally playing like volleyball today, and if I make a mistake, right, like on the team, I'm like, shit, that's the worst
Hmm.
thing. But you notice that like fucking everyone makes mistakes and it doesn't fucking matter. And obviously you're improving. And the thing is, right, as well, like when you make mistakes, I notice it's also your relationship to yourself and the mistake is pretty dominant, right? Because if you think that oh shit, I fucked up, I'm the worst at all this about mistakes, right? Other people kind of see it in the same way. But if you just own your fucking mistakes, like, yeah, I fucking did that, bro. I'm improving. I'm not the best motherfucker. Then it's like, boom, good vibes, and you kind of switch it into yeah, like a growth kind of thing, where it's not okay, yeah, mistakes or not. It's pretty big, right? Because it's all, at least for me, was coming out of trying to get external validation from others, right? Not making mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
being perfect and shit, being liked. But then, yeah, you can just find the validation within yourself, right? You don't have to depend on others to fucking validate you. So that's like another big thing I realized. Like, yeah, detaching from other people's views of you, their opinions, everything. Start creating whatever your wait against. Yo, we're back, bro. Yeah, yeah. So the external validation, yeah, you can create that. The internal validation within yourself.
Yeah, totally, man. And what do you think about sports as a tool for us to, develop ourselves and also develop ourselves within a group, like with teamwork and all of the aspects that we have with sports as well?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good actually. Sports. Yeah, I started playing like badminton when I was a bit younger as well. That was at least helped me develop quite a lot. Uh, so yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think like yes, I'm pretty interested in myself. Fucking love sports. But yeah, so I think it'll be pretty good. I think it should definitely be something everyone does, and perhaps also yes, to like help the like competitiveness in a good way, right? Um, yeah, growing as a team. Yeah, the teamwork. I was once through like an obstacle course with a bunch of mates. That was pretty good, right? It's kind of it does strengthen that, like whatever sport it is, it does strengthen teamwork. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, yeah, like yeah,
Mm-hmm. And how can you be unaffected by haters?
bro, that's a good one. I remember like I'm on X as well, right? And I remember the first hate comment I got still, uh, and it did stand for me for a long time. Like I did write a lot about this. Let me just think back. Well, like first off, again, like if you're affected by haters, right? Obviously, like you're gonna be affected by them, but to the degree I think what you're affected by them is how much you depend like on their external, like how you attach to their external opinions and shit. So it is really about not giving a fuck, right? Like you can kind of view haters as a way to even grow yourself. It's like, oh yeah, first off, they're showing you what you could improve sometimes, at least like with criticism. Point, they're showing you trigger, if they trigger you, right? They're showing you your trigger points. Like, yeah, which can be pretty fucking insightful actually. Like, yeah, like, what are you insecure about in yourself, right? I can really reveal a lot about it. And I'm viewing haters this way as like, yeah, a way to grow yourself, right? That's pretty good. And then also, like as total like base foundation, you can't make everyone like you, right? Like that's basically impossible. This is why I did think that the world would only be good if everyone liked me. Like that's what how I used to think.
Mm,
Yeah, and for this you just have to realize that well, first off, not everyone's gonna be able to like you. Second off, not everyone should, right? Because how are you gonna find the people you resonate with, your fucking tribe, if everyone likes you? You'll naturally, if you are authentic to yourself, right, true to yourself, you'll naturally have haters and you'll naturally have, yeah, like fans or whatever. Like having haters is actually a good thing because it shows you that, okay, you're actually some point staying true to yourself here and kind of not resonating with everyone, which is also, yeah, that's fine, right? Not resonating with everyone. So realizing that I think was pretty huge for me that you don't have to make everyone like you and that you can actually find the right people by finding the haters as well. So that's how I basically deal with it.
yeah, I think that's very interesting because it's a very people pleaser kind of thing to say when you said like I wanted everyone to like me, and then it kind of, yeah, I guess that's kind of the root of the problem when we are trying to please people, right? Because we think we need to be a certain way or act a certain way for them to like us, and that we need their validation. But like you said before as well, when we learn to have that validation coming from within, things
Yeah,
start getting much easier, right?
definitely, bro. So yeah, haters, they're good. They're good on the journey. So
And what about dealing with negative emotions?
yeah, yeah, this is pretty interesting because the thing about negative emotions is that they're not so negative after all, actually. Like,
Mm.
they're just emotions. Like, all of our emotions are kind of the same. Um, and now this is not something I've perfected. Definitely not. Like, I still kind of see like anger, frustration, whatever it is, as like a negative thing, and then try to run away from it, repress it, whatever. I think that's probably our natural response because we've been conditioned to think that they're negative, right? But yeah, like you can view them as our children, right? I think I heard like can't remember who it was say something like that. Like if you treat some of them poorly, your relation to them, ship to them is poorly, then they're just gonna stick around and it's gonna be fucking annoying, right? So when you have negative emotions, like what I do, I just allow them to be actually and to feel them and to let them go. Because when they're felt, they won't be bothering you anymore, really. Or and if they're still there, then you're not resisting them, so you're still all right even though they're there. Yeah. Like I remember coming home from school or something, I was pretty fucking frustrated or something. Like I literally just punched out in the air, like I allowed myself to just fucking feel it right, without attaching myself to the emotion or and without resisting it, running away from it. Um, and this is really just how we can deal with negative emotions. Yeah. But yeah, some people attach to them as well, right? Be like, yo, this is my new identity now, but nah, that's not a good thing either. So, but yeah, like, I think my natural response is honestly to just fucking run away from them, but you just have to catch yourself. When you catch yourself, boom, just sit down, right? Allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to be there, because there's really nothing wrong about it. Uh, yeah, negative emotions are not negative. I think that's like the main realization here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it's not that they're negative, it's more about the label that we put on them and how you filter, because an emotion is actually a sign from your body, from your higher self, from like whatever it is, that something is wrong, or at least you're interpreting something as wrong in the case of a negative emotion, right? So sometimes, like you said, by just letting it be and trying to figure out why am I feeling this? Where is this coming from? And then you start seeing the patterns, and then you can change the things, or at least change how you see them, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's really the thing with anything, right? Challenges, haters, whatever it is, whatever we perceive as negative, yeah, we can kind of switch it around to being this thing that's showing us something. But as you said, our body is, yeah, processing something, whatever it is, showing us, yeah, where something is wrong. So it's really just signs for where we can do better or whatever. So, yeah, it's like everything is good, right? Whatever happens is good.
And Ash, recently you ran a half marathon.
Yeah.
How was that, man? And how were you feeling when you were running? And what was your mind telling you in the middle of the run?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to run actually. Like before the run, I think I had some kind of like knee slash shin problems, whatever. So I was actually pretty afraid that it was gonna go wrong before the run because I'd been out on a I think 16-kilometer run before that where it went pretty bad. Like I had to stop in the middle of it, like walk a little bit, all this. Um, yeah, so I was a bit nervous. But when I was in it, the run itself, I just kind of slowly realized something, right? I was like, okay, if I instead of focus on the risk, the fear of this knee problem, everything like happening when I was running, I would just switch my attention to something else, like my breath. I just kept doing this, and then it was actually pretty fine. So I didn't experience anything like that on the run. I could actually run like continuously at the pace like the entire time. So that was pretty good. But during it, like that was pretty crazy, man. As I wasn't sure that I was gonna be able to finish, uh, especially like the last 5 kilometers. Um, I noticed my feet starting to just burn quite a lot, and and yeah. But like what just saved me was just the stillness at this point, because like on the last 5 kilometers, like we weren't running with a lot of people anymore, right? So it was just entirely like still around us. I just tapped into that stillness, right? And that peace in a way, which just allowed me to keep going. Cause yeah, like whatever you focus on gets amplified, right? So there wasn't any internal resistance. Like I don't think thought of stopping. Actually, it was pretty crazy because we were running around like 4 times 5 kilometers basically. So we were running around like 4 times in like a circle or something like that. So every time you kind of go to the finish, you're like, oh shit, can I make another lap? But I didn't really have that actually much. I was like, I was pretty determined to actually do the run, the entire fucking run. So so yeah, I think the main thing was just the stillness, honestly, just tapping into that during it, and just having that so you don't internally resist anything and you don't think like get all these negative thoughts and shit. Yeah, that was like the main thing that saved me. But it was pretty crazy to run, and afterwards, pretty fucking exhausted. Like on the last 1 kilometer, my fucking calves were burning, man. They were about to fucking explode, I feel like. So yeah, I don't know if I could have gone much further, so it was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty fucking good experience. And I think in my mind, actually, like, I'd already gone through what it would feel like, to kind of do the run, like visualizing or whatever. I think sports at least do this as well. So when it had happened, I wasn't even like as excited as I could have been. I was like, oh yeah, we just did that, which was pretty interesting to go through. Like, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty fucking good running a half marathon, definitely.
And how did you feel when you finished it? Like, did you just collapse in the ground? What were you feeling as you were crossing the finish line?
Yeah, I was just like, I think I was just feeling pretty relieved that this year was over because it started to feel,
Like,
yeah, bro, like, god damn. Because yeah, I said my calves were burning quite a lot. So I was just kind of, when I got to the finish line, I stopped, right? Running, boom. And then when you stop running after such a long time, as you've been running, like, without stopping, like, your entire legs just begin burning like crazy. So if you stop during the run, like, you're done, basically. So it was pretty good I didn't do that. Like, I feel like I could not have run like another 100 meters after that. I felt completely done. So yeah, just like I walked, stiff-legged around, grabbed some food, some water, then sat down. Yeah, and just pretty happy that it was over, honestly.
and is that run one of the things you're most proud of in your life so far? And what is the thing that you think like, dude, this is the achievement that I'm very proud of?
Yeah, yeah, that's one of them. And another one gotta be skiing, because I was out with the school, right? I was on 1 year school. I was out with them on a ski trip. Never been out skiing before. And my mates just, they've been skiing a lot. So they taught me how to do it, right? Like parallel skis, everything, all the advanced stuff. They told me that. So I went from a total beginner, like no expectations of doing anything crazy on the skis, right? To falling in love with it and doing the like the hardest fucking alpines or whatever you call it. So that's gotta be like another thing that I'm pretty proud of. And yeah, just joining this, I think this,
And what about your experience with boarding school? How
yeah,
was the boarding school and how's that experience, man? I have no idea.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's actually another thing, cause boarding school, like it took like a lot of courage to go into that, cause it's a completely different environment from like in here in Denmark, we can go like from middle school to high school right away, but a lot of people take the boarding school as well as like a year to just yeah socialize, right? Grow your own socialization skills. So that was pretty good. The first day, I still remember the first day when I arrived, right? I was like, I don't think I knew exactly what I was getting into here. I just like, I was there, boom. A lot of people didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Was just like kind of scared, like, oh shit. I knew nobody there. I think my mate, my roommate, he knew like two other people, and they had just like, I could read my roommate was like, yo, what's up? He's went out to the people he knew already, like, started hanging around. So I was like left up alone. I was like, shit, bro. What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? So I was pretty scared at that point. Like the first day, but it gradually got better at you because we had like a class and everything. So I got pretty close to them. But in like the first 2 or 3 months, I wasn't completely like, or maybe like the first month or 2 months, it was pretty fucking scary because I didn't feel comfortable. It felt like because you're outside of your comfort zone entirely because you're with people all the time, right? So it was pretty scary, but after a while, I got used to it and learned a lot from it. And honestly, that was the reason I'm here today as well, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking grateful that I took that choice back in the day. Yeah, because like I knew my social skills, like I was shy and shit, so I was like, I gotta do something. So I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
we go fucking boarding school now. Yeah, but I don't even know if I would have joined if I knew what I've gotten into. Like I was like, yo, that might be too scary. So I was pretty lucky as well. Like, but yeah. So, but it ended out good. Yeah, man. So it was a pretty good experience.
Oh, hell yeah, man. And was it only boys or boys and girls?
I was boys and girls, yeah. Like, yeah, we had a couple, like an entire, I don't know what you call it, but like entire section on the school where it was only boys' rooms and shit, but they were mixed as well. So yeah, because I think boarding schools in Denmark are quite different from like in where US or whatever it is, rest of the world, because it's basically like made to not for the school stuff, but for the social stuff, really. So yeah, it's pretty chill out here, definitely.
But did you have classes as well, or really just the social stuff?
Was one of the classes, right? But it was like, at like 4 p.m. every day you had the rest of the day to just chill out. So there was a lot of cool stuff done there. And yeah, like you go on trips together, do all this. Like I played badminton, right? You choose like a direct, like a thing you want to do. Like our school had badminton. It had a few couple sports things. It had a couple creative things. So it's also like that, right? To get better at whatever skill you wanna do, and then yeah, be around people. So that's like the main purposes of the schools. But we did also have classes, yeah.
And do you think that this experience eventually led you to the path you're going into now with the psychology stuff, with the self-improvement stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Because if I didn't do that, go to boarding school, I wouldn't have noticed. Because you get very close to people, right? Like I think I got closer to the people I was around in like boarding school, like 6 months than I was with my like normal school friends where I'd been around for like 9 years, right? I was closer to those people. So it was like crazy high intense stuff. And this led to the entire people pleasing thing getting taken like way out, right? To the extreme, which eventually led me to think that okay, there's something I have to change here. So I definitely think it was pretty key in me realizing this entire thing. And I don't know if it would have happened if I didn't go there, because then the kind of people please thing would have just been on the low, right? And just kind of, yeah, slowly doing its thing instead of its, and maybe I wouldn't have noticed it, right? Yeah, I'm pretty grateful going there, getting that experience.
And when did you start learning how to deal with procrastination? Because that's something that you've also written about.
Yeah, procrastination. Yeah, that's right. I made a video about that. Yeah. Honestly, like I still do it sometimes, like, but really I noticed that the procrastination was another kind of thing of me being like afraid to make mistakes or whatever. Or afraid to, yeah, I made a video about it. I can't remember the exact points, but I think it's like, again, just kind of acknowledging the procrastination itself, what you're trying to avoid in a way. And yeah, for me, I think it was just avoiding like failing or some shit, and then just allowing that to be, right, and just being conscious of it. And then you can, if you self-accept at this point, yourself entirely, and you're not even guilty of doing it, then
Hmm.
that's a really good place to start. And then you can just observe yourself doing it honestly. Why you're doing everything like that. And then when you're conscious enough in this area, you can just start to, yeah, do something else, right? But it is definitely, yeah, procrastination. It's definitely something, but yeah, it's usually when we're avoiding something. So just facing that with consciousness and the self-acceptance, that's really how to deal with it.
Yeah, I think it's a very important point that you said about perfectionism and procrastination kind of being two sides of the same coin because you want to make it perfect. So if you say like you want to study for a test or something and you're like, I need to study for 5 hours, but you could study half an hour each day and it would be easier, but no, you need to have it perfect. So if you're not going to study the 5 hours, you're not going to study at all. And eventually like you shoot yourself on the foot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And when you say that, I think of being attached to results as well, actually, as well, because yeah, it comes from perfectionism, where you base your self-worth on the results you get, and then obviously you're gonna be like, fuck no, that's painful as fuck, right? If you fuck up.
Hmm.
So you want to just, yeah, have that detachment from the results. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, because sometimes we kind of attach our own sense of self-value from the results we get, and that can get ugly very fast.
Yeah, bro. Like, this is what I did, like, starting self-improvement, right? Like, just being like, oh shit, how productive, or like, was I or whatever. And yeah, that's all. Again, fear-based. It's like, oh yeah, if I don't live up to this, then I'm not good enough. But if you do it anyways, you're not gonna be satisfied because you always could have done more. So
Hmm.
yeah, starting to shift that external validation to the internal stuff, I think is really key.
Yeah, I think it's key too because sometimes we think like, oh, I didn't get the result I wanted, so that means I'm a piece of shit. But
Yeah,
that's not true. It just means you didn't prepare enough or like your strategy wasn't that good, but doesn't mean you are a bad person or anything. It's just you got to separate the results from the person sometimes.
yeah, exactly, bro. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Because you fucking are enough, I'm saying. You shouldn't base yourself off no results. So that's a pretty good reminder. Yeah, just being more kind to ourselves. That's also something like I've been through a lot, right? Being pretty harsh on myself. But the kindness, all the good stuff, accepting yourself, yeah, as I said, is gonna really help here with not, yeah, not needing
Hmm.
anything external to be, to feel worthy or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's counterproductive. Because if you're not kind to yourself, then you're always putting yourself down, and then your results will be worse, and then you'll get into that cycle again. So it never ends. You need to break that cycle, man.
Yeah, bro. Cycle, gotta break it. Goddamn cycle.
And how do you think that people that want to be creators online and build on Twitter or X or on any other platform, really, what do you think has to be the mindset shift first to go from a consumer to a creator? And how can you find your purpose as a creator as well?
Yeah, so going from a consumer to a creator is, well, first off, there's like a, well, for me, I just realized that when I was in the self-improvement thing, I was like, oh yeah, I need something to do some kind of work, right? Like, because it was pretty like purposeless almost. It's like pretty empty, just improve self-improvement for your own sake, right? Not helping anyone else. So that's like the first thing that you can kind of find purpose in this work and start to kind of create your own reality in a way. Because, yeah, like a consumer is really just one that's being fed shit from the environment, being, yeah, kind of stuck in that sense. So it's really when you get, I think, like a desire to create something yourself, right? Like I did with the people pleasing. I became a creator in a sense at that point because I was like, I was getting out of the environmental shit and starting to change the environment myself, or myself to whatever degree. So I think it starts with a desire, yeah, to do something. And then another thing here is, right, I started to create like almost four other people. Like I was on X doing this thing to grow and post shit. It's very shallow reasons. I didn't really know like what I was doing, right? I was trading to get engagement shit, and that's when it's again like an intention that's based in fear, right? You're creating. It's like if you gotta be a creator, right? You gotta have the why down, the intention down behind why you're creating. So if you create for the sake of like gaining whatever it is, like that's fine. But if you can switch it to intrinsic, more to intrinsic, right? Like creating just because you love to fucking create. That's like that's one of the first shifts, right? Creating not because you fear to end up, for instance, in a bad spot in life, whatever. Or creating out of inspiration to end up in a good spot. That's another important thing. Like the entire hustle culture, I think it's all fear-based, right? It's like, yeah, you're not already good enough, so you create, so you try to become better. But then they're creating from this lacking point where again they're attaching to something external to feel fulfilled inside, which is only short term, only works short term. Creating out of inspiration, love, whatever it is, that's another important thing. Because you love to fuck create, because you want to help the world, And obviously, the fucking, like, gaining money, whatever it is like, yeah, that can also be there because it's natural. But if it's not the main thing driving you, I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Because, like, it was for me, like, it was the main thing driving me, I think. Like, I'd started with the, oh yeah, shit, I want to help people. Then I got on X, saw all the fucking, okay, it's all about making fucking money. We gotta get to 10K a
Hmm.
month. Then I quickly got discouraged, wanted to quit. So yeah, you gotta have the why down. Yeah, for sure. And find the purpose. Yeah, like how do you find a purpose in it? I think it's just about whatever you like. For me, it's whatever now I say fucking passionate about. Like okay, let's say following your energy instead. Uh, like whatever excites you. Like for me, I said it was spirituality, psychology, all this, helping people. that excites me, like my energy, whatever you want to say, following that spark, right? If you follow that, like that's where you know you can that can kind of become your purpose as well. At least it's become that for me, right? Help it expand the mental wellness or the consciousness or whatever um with the people I yeah interact with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, following that spark, creating our love. I think that's two main things.
Yeah, I totally get you because we get on X, especially on Money X, it's like if you're not making $10,000 a month online, you're living in a slum or something. You're totally worthless if you're not making a lot of money, if you're not thinking about how to get more followers and make more money and get more engagement and blah, blah, blah. So I know it can burn you out very quick.
Yeah, bro. It's all yeah. It's so funny as well because it's all based like everyone looks up to the creators who make a lot of money. They just want to be like them,
Hmm.
have a lot of followers. Then when people post their wins, yeah, I'm doing this good, I'm getting this in, then people are like, shit, I want that as well. So it's like all driven out of this fucking egoic shit, right? Which is fine. Like it's a process, honestly. And people will probably start to like awaken to this as well. Like, yo, I'm not gonna fucking follow some motherfucker just so I can get something myself. I want to follow the ones that inspire me, to uplift me, so I can help uplift others. But yeah, it is because you get the message thrown out in the face, right? Like, if you don't do this, you're not good enough. Boom, you have to make money, all this shit. And Money X can be a pretty, I don't want to say toxic place, but it can be a pretty, yeah, like it's a consciousness of its own. Like a very, very materialistic. So, gotta be a little bit careful of that. Yeah, not to get drawn in entirely.
Yeah, I think you can learn a lot in Money X, but at the same time, like you said, you need to be careful because if you get too consumed by it, it's it's not gonna be good for your mental health and in the
Yeah.
long term because like you said before as well, like you have to follow a bit of your joy as well. If you're just following the numbers, following the money, eventually that fire inside of you, you won't be able to keep going because you're kind of burning out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like, if you, I heard someone say that, for instance, making money is not like the goal in itself. It is a tool. Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's really a tool to get to you to where you want to be. So yeah, it's a tool. It shouldn't be the goal itself because it's so shallow that it's like it can't really sustain you and fulfill you for longer periods of time. Like sure, like this short-term process. Like I've tweeted about this, had people saying, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" Like if I could have the most trashy job and make a fuck ton of money, I'd obviously do that. But like at the end of the day, like why you want to, why do you want to make so much money? It's probably because you want something to feel fucking good inside. It
Hmm.
always, at least it's, to be okay inside, to feel okay, whatever it is. And you can create this feeling before you make the money, anyways, inside of you. So you don't need the fucking external shit to fulfill you. Yeah. I think I hope people will start to notice that, especially like you can learn a lot. You can learn skills. You can even learn stuff about yourself. Like I've learned a fuck ton. I've learned that okay, I actually have this pretty big shadow aspect because I do feel a lot of resistance when I watch this very materialistic viewpoint. So I'm like, nah, bro. So I learned that about myself as well, right? It's like, oh yeah, that's something I have to accept, right? Because it's not wrong in any way. It's just a completely different way of thinking. So yeah, you can learn a lot about yourself. Like whenever you get triggered, like I get triggered a lot when I'm on Money X. Like fucking post trigger me all the time, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's something I can work on. So it's pretty good as well. As like an internal thing, honestly. Obviously external as well with the skills. So it's pretty valuable being on Money X, I think. But no, getting consumed by it is like that's your mission.
Yeah, it's like we were talking in the beginning that you can't please everyone, and at the same time, you it's good actually that not everyone will like you because you won't like everyone also. So it's kind of a filter so you can attract the right people, not anyone. Like if you have 1 million followers, but it's a bunch of people that don't resonate with the stuff you like to talk about and do, like what's the point, right? It's better to have maybe 1,000, 10,000 followers, but people who you could really like have a beer with or, people you like to hang out with than to have a bunch of people who like, okay, but they don't even really like what I talk about, what I do. So,
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's actually, I think that's really good. Like some bros that you can just have a beer with. Like just have some people around you, your mates, that you resonate with, you chill with. I think that's pretty good. That's definitely what you want to build your thing around, right? Um, so yeah, there's this way of just posting to gain followers in itself is a pretty funky way of doing things. Like, will you actually attract the right people? Who knows? Maybe you will, but doing it in a more authentic and aligned way would definitely be to, yeah, do it to make some fucking good connections, with people.
yeah, because in the short run, if you run with the follower thing and you can make more money in the short run depending on what you do, by all means. But if you're not authentic, it won't last because you won't be able to do that for 10, 20 years. Because
Yeah,
like you were talking about of like the guy who has a job that pays a lot, but the job is shit. Like, okay, you might be an investment banker and you're making a lot of money, but you don't even have time to enjoy that money in the first place. And you're always working. And like you said as well, many times they're just spending to because they have this void within, and you're just spending because you're like, oh, I work so much, I deserve it. And like sometimes they're not even saving money. So what's the point? Like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna work with this for 5 years and then I can pretty much retire, okay. But if you're if what's the point of just like being overworked, overstressed all the time and not taking care of yourself?
yeah, exactly. Like, and this reminds me actually of a book by Joe Dispenza, if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
He made it Becoming Supernatural. It's also talking about if you live in this stress state, right? It's
Mm.
not sustainable because it will literally disease the body. The body will begin to create disease and shit. If it's not in alignment with if there's all this stress, because the body is now used to having been in a stress state like every single day, all the fucking time. You're stressed, boom, it shows you that something has to change. You change that, it's gone, right? But if it keeps staying there, like you're done. The body can't handle that. So yeah, I can actually recommend that book as well. Really fucking good. Like just the fact that your internal state can create like physical diseases and shit in you
Mm-hmm.
is really mental to think about. So yeah, really fucking good book. And people shouldn't be living like that. Or I mean, sure, if they want to, but it's not sustainable. So they're probably gonna notice something is off and then change. That's usually how this kind of stuff works.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because at the same time, like you can create the disease if you're always stressed, but at the same time, if you see things like you can have the exact same situation in every possible way, but if you change your mindset and try to see the good things in your situation, you will also have better results for your health. So it's pretty crazy how the mind can create this.
Yeah, yeah, and it works for everything. Yeah, as you said, the mindset, the intention behind why you're doing it, and the way you feel about it, the state of mind, everything like this. Yeah, because even if you're like working out to be more healthy, but it's coming from this place of oh shit, like I fucking need to work out, else I'm not healthy, or else I don't feel good enough, and all
Hmm.
this. Like, it, it's literally just gonna like counter your progress. So yeah, the intention, the why behind it, and the state of mind while you're doing it is really fucking important.
It is. It is. It's the root of a lot of possible mental problems and diseases if you're coming from the wrong state of mind, like you mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I think I saw a podcast with some guy spitting some numbers. Now, like, obviously, I don't know if these are like correct. I can't even remember what the exact number was, but it was something that I think it was cancer. He was talking about that I think less than 10% of cancer was genetic, and 90% of it maybe was created. Yeah. Like even you see this in families, right? People having the same disease and shit. But I think that's because the environment, the internal environment, everything kind of goes, it repeats itself, right? So you
Hmm.
kind of create the same things. I don't think that's how it works. Honestly, like I'm not like a doctor or anything, so I don't know. But that's just like a little theory. Uh, which is if it's holds, it's pretty cool. But yeah, like we create more disease in ourselves, and even when you're sick, right? Like you can literally resist the sickness, that you're unhealthy, all this, and kind of reaffirm yourself in your sickness. But you can also just be fine with it, accept it, let it go, all this good stuff without resisting it. And I think it even helps with the sickness. It's just what I've noticed with it myself. Like you can have like a headache and feel really bad, like, oh my gosh, I'm in the worst state of my life. I hate this. I'm so unlucky, Or you can be, yeah, like find some peace in the moment still. So I think, yeah, like the internal stuff is crazy how much effect it has, and becoming supernatural really dives into this. So yeah, it's fucking wild, bro.
It is, because when we are in those mental states, we create a lot of toxins in our body, and all of our neurochemistry is completely out of whack when you're in those states. So, and I read it wasn't becoming supernatural. It was another one of Joe Dispenza's books. Now I forgot the title, but if I'm pretty sure it was there that I read that the body, it kind of gets addicted to some substances that we secrete. So like if you're constantly stressed out, you kind of get addicted to being stressed out. So if you take out the stress, you feel bad because your body is addicted to the substances. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yes, like you get addicted to the chemical reactions and shit, the emotions, everything. It's fucking scary. Yeah, maybe it was you had the placebo or breaking the habit of being yourself. Maybe it was one of those. But I think it's cool that you read them as well, because his work is fucking amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's breaking the habit of being yourself. The red one.
Yeah, nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, so that's what we out here to do, bro. Or at least what I want to do, just help raise the this kind of stuff, right? So it doesn't happen.
Totally, man. And how can we stop procrastinating with self-acceptance?
So, well, again, it's about like accepting the procrastination, right? Like if you accept it and you're fine with doing it, all the negative shit you think about yourself, everything will be gone, right? And you can just watch yourself from a neutral point doing it. Like this is literally what I would do, right? Just be like, okay, yeah, fine, I'm gonna go on fucking YouTube, watch some shit. Let's see what happens. And then you might find like, yeah, okay, actually I better want to do something else. Like, I better want to work on this thing. Cause like you're at this point where you're like not running away from anything because you've accepted it. You've had to do this, right? I'll just like sit down and just dive into myself, like journal about it, or just go internally, like, yo, what am I actually running away from? That's like a huge question that you can dive crazy into, right? Uh, and then just accept yourself and this entire thing, and then you'll just be able to, yeah, come from a completely neutral place, yeah. And when you don't have anything to run away from anymore, like there's no need to procrastinate. Yeah, because you'll be doing what's aligned to you. And if what you want to do is aligned to you, then why would you do it, right? So yeah.
And how do you see the future in the next few years with AI and everything? And what's the vision do you have for the future?
Yeah, so AI, like at one point I'm kind of scared of it, and another point is like this is pretty fucking cool. Um, yeah, cause like it can help us like automate shit, which is pretty good. Like a lot of jobs as well will be lost. Just like the main thing I'm concerned about, like yo, what are people gonna do? Like even like me, I'm like, what if there's no fucking jobs left? What if I yeah? But what it allows us to do is it just takes a bunch of this like manual work, this whatever it is, like administration or whatever it is, that just takes a bunch of fucking time. It can like release a lot of time for us if we can kind of automate that shit, and then allow us to spend more time on spirituality. Honestly, that's how I see it. Yeah, like I was reading in Finger's book. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. It talks about this, like the end goal of society as well being that okay, all production and shit is automated, and people are just like going around following their fucking soul and shit, and sending around money to each other when they help each other. Right? It's like, yeah, they meet the right person at the right time. You exchange value or whatever. Boom, and that's how people live, completely intuitively. So that's how the future. There's like an ideal future, I think. Yeah, I don't know about the fucking Neuralink, the chips and shit, like Meta and everything, doing virtual realities. I think that's sounds pretty crazy. Um, I'm like, bro, I don't want like I heard a guy talking about how if you get AI, right, for instance, like a chip in your brain to help you with whatever it is, like that's good because yeah, it releases a certain energy that you'd have to use on like thinking rationally, whatever it is, right? So you can do other more stuff that's more aligned to you. But if you have like AI helping you with something, um, in your body, like replacement for something, your body won't be needing the natural part that does that anyways. So the neurons that do this will just start to like fade and die. So, and I found that pretty fucking crazy, right? Like if your brain, if you don't no longer need to think logically about
Hmm.
anything, then you just lose all the logical neurons. You just won't be able to study yourself anymore. 100%. You're gonna be 100% dependent on AI to do that. So it's kind of in a way he was talking about. I think he was called Greg Braden. I think yeah, talking about how AI is taking away our humanity in a way because like once those neurons are gone, we'll never be able to get them back. Um, so that I find a bit scary, honestly. But I was also talking with another friend of mine who was like, "Yo, AI can help advance our consciousness," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's true as well. Like, there's got to be some intersection here, right?
Hmm.
Where AI can is good, it doesn't like take away our humanity, makes us totally dependent on it. And I guess it just always comes down to if the materialistic side wins, like it's gonna like just take our soul away to make a profit and shit. Like, nah. Or even the yeah, humanity remains in a way. So I hope we find a balance. I'm optimistic about it. I think yeah, because else we're kind of fucked. But yeah, so I hope it's gonna be good, bro. AI, yeah, man.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think we are in a crossroads right now. Like we have to choose the path, and we can either go to an utopia kind of world in which we don't even really have to work anymore because the machines can do it all, or we can go to a total dystopia. So we're kind of like we have to choose very wisely right now.
Yeah, like we can all just be these fucking like 1% human, just like all like fucking cyborg kind of things. Like not having any emotions because emotions, like, you know, they're bad for thinking rationally, or we can be free living because machines help us do everything. Yeah, so it's like it's the two extremes here. Yeah, so let's just move towards the good one, bro.
Yeah, let's work so that we can help humanity go to the right side,
Yeah,
hopefully.
bro. Yeah, for real.
Awesome, man. And what is your definition of success?
Like, I think it's just all about falling in love with life, honestly. Living the best fucking life that you want to live. Everything. Because, yeah, a lot of people would say it's financial success and everything, which I agree on as well. Like, it's definitely like a part of it in a way, right? Like, if you're living the best fucking life you want to live, then financial success might be a part of that. And it might be just like a natural circumstance of it. Like, following your complete intuition, um, and just, yeah, living life to its fullest every day, being fucking showing up as powerful as you can. Just, yeah, then you can get, like, you can create whatever the fuck you want. So I think that's what success is about.
That's
So
beautiful, man.
yeah, that's what we're doing, bro. Creating it everything internally, so there's no lack. Boom, only abundance, full love of life, do whatever the fuck we want. Yeah, that'd be pretty successful life to me.
Yeah, I think falling in love with life is a good slogan for everything that we've talked about today. Like how to fall in love with life.
Yeah, man, how to fall in love with life, bro. That's it.
Life well lived, life worth living.
Yeah, man. And then, yeah, like you start to create all the good internal stage, you'll do all this, get all that good shit popping out there. So it's really only has positive effects. Yeah, doing this. So that's what we're doing, bro. Yeah.
Ash, anything else you'd like to add? Any other things you'd like to talk to anyone that's watching us?
Nah, I don't think so, honestly. I think it was good talk. It was fucking amazing talk to you, mate. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I've been through as well. Realizations I've been. So it was pretty good. Spitting the wisdom out there, you know. So yeah, yeah, bro. Thanks for it, man.
Thank you, man. And where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, they can find me on X, at Ash_Rote. That's really it. And I mean, I have a YouTube as well, honestly. It's the same at, but I just post the same stuff on X. Nothing special.
Awesome, man. I'll leave all the links so they can find you. Thank you so much for coming, Ash. It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, great talking to you, bro. Thank you for having me.